Your money is worth less today than it was yesterday. Not because of inflation, not because you spent it, because the rupee just cruised 90 to the dollar and hit 91 before the Reserve Bank stepped in to stop the bleeding. You probably didn't notice. Most people don't until they do. Here is when you notice it. That iPhone you have been eyeing, that's $1,199 in New York. In Delhi, it's 1,44,900 rupees. Now do the math. At 90 rupees to a dollar, that's about $1,610. Yep, you are paying over $400 more for the same phone. Same phone, same company, but you're paying 34% more. And it's not just import duty, it's because your currency is weaker. Or this, that European trip you planned when the rupee was at 82. Your budget was 2.5 lakh for 2 weeks. At 91, that same trip now cost 2.77 lakhs, 27,000 rupees more. Same hotels, same flights, nothing changed except the exchange rate. The rupee has lost 6% of its value this year. 6% sounds small until you realize it means everything imported. Electronics, education, medical equipment, machinery. Just got more expensive. And here is what nobody is telling you. This isn't stopping. The Reserve Bank tried to defend the rupee. They have been selling dollars from reserves, propping up the currency. It worked for a few hours. The rupee bounced back from 91 to 90.37. But here is the problem. You can't fight gravity forever. Two forces are crushing the rupee. One, India imports more than it exports. We buy oil, electronics, gold. We sell services and some goods. That gap, we pay for it in dollars. Two, foreign investors are pulling money out. A few years ago, they were putting in $130 billion a year. Now that's slowing, not because India is failing, but because returns look better elsewhere. When dollars leave and rupees stay, the rupee gets weaker. And here is the part that connects everything. India's economy grew 12% last year in rupee terms. This year, just 8%. But foreign investors don't care about rupee growth. They care about dollar returns. If you are a fund manager in New York and India's growth in dollar terms is slowing while the rupee keeps weakening, why would you send more money? So what does this mean for you? Imported goods get more expensive. That laptop, that camera, that car with German parts. Inflation creeps higher because India import cooking oil, pulses and key manufacturing components. When the rupee falls, those cost more and companies pass it on to you. And your savings, in rupees they are the same, but globally they buy less. 10 lakh rupees today gets you less in dollars than they did last year. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Currency strength isn't about national pride, it's about purchasing power. A weak rupee means you work the same hours, earn the same salary, but can afford less of the world. So what happens next? Three possible paths. 1. India's economy accelerates. Real growth, not just nominal. Foreign investors return, the rupee stabilizes. 2. The Reserve Bank keeps intervening, burning through reserves, buying time until growth catches up. 3. The rupee settles into a new normal, somewhere between 92 and 95, and we adjust. Nobody knows which one we will get. But here is what you can control. If you are planning big purchases, foreign education, property abroad, imported goods, know that the currency is moving against you. If you are investing, remember, rupee assets compete with dollar assets. Capital always flows where it's treated best. And if you're just living your life, keep this in mind. Currency markets aren't just for traders, they are the invisible tax or subsidy on everything you buy from the world. The rupee cruised 90. It's not just a number, it's a signal. The only question is, are you paying attention?